Yeah! B-Roll Boiz! B-Roll Boiz!
Is this what's going to be like when we play our live show?
Yeah, just us chanting for ourselves.
When we start going on tour in like Europe.
Start going to like Comic-Con and...
Oh, man.
Could you imagine the B-roll panel?
Crickets. The Q&A
It's
is
like
just,
nothing but super hot girls.
just like all the
Fuck me,
cosplay
B-Roll
babes.
Boiz.
We have like a line of slave layers.
Just crowd surfing their way to the front.
This movie's gonna flop. Our minds about to pop. But enough of that noise. Time for the B-Roll Boiz.
Face front, true believers, and welcome back to another stupendous, star-spangled episode of B-Roll Boiz. My name's Harlan, and with me I've got Wes.
My hymen just grew back.
And Justin.
Did his voice sound like that?
Back in the day.
I forgot what this movie was about.
And we just watched 1992's Captain America, starring Matt Salinger, that's his name. Directed by Who Cares? Really shitty comic book movie.
I can't believe this came out in God's year.
That's
Came out the same year as Dirt by Alice in Chains.
Oh, damn. Yeah, when you put it like that, we were watching this and I was like, Justin was like, oh, man, for like 1990, there's no excuse for this. It should have been way better. And I was like, I don't know. It's about as shitty as I expected for a movie from this time. And then it was like, no, this is when like Terminator 2 came out. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
It's like my benchmark of what early 90s cinema should be.
When you put it like that, yeah.
Sure,
it is really
Someone
shitty.
comes up to you with an attitude, you say, "Eat me."
This was after Die Hard. There was no excuse.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's after Die Hard 2.
It is after Die Hard too.
Damn. So we watched Captain America. What'd you guys think of it?
I hated it.
Yeah, this was. Like, I know you're the pacing issue guy, but goddamn, this was fucking.
Yeah,
boring.
I was
I was bored
copyright
3
on
minutes
that.
in.
This was just horribly paced.
I don't think we've ever been more collectively checked out of a movie before.
we didn't even want to watch it.
It didn't help. We all had a hard time like keeping track of the plot, and it didn't help that this movie didn't have subtitles anywhere. Because I bought the Blu-ray because it's not streaming anywhere. So like I went on eBay, bought it for $20, and we put it on, and I find out it doesn't have fucking subtitles. And then I look, and I'm like, maybe it's on fucking YouTube or something. I look, sure enough, there's a version of this entire movie with like 7 million views, and no one cares enough to copyright strike it.
Yeah, it's been on there since 2015.
Yeah, so I put it on, and the only closed captioning options are the Spanish auto-generated ones.
It's weird because you just like turn those on, right? Like you probably could have just flipped a toggle, put English ones on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they're the auto-gen, I don't know how
And
that
it
should work.
was also weird because it wasn't uploaded to like a channel based in Spain or a channel that like primarily posts and like I looked at the YouTube channel and their shit's all in English. So I'm like, why are your? I don't know.
They cared about localization.
Yeah, I guess that's cool.
For one language.
I mean, most of this movie didn't even take place in America anyway.
Yeah.
It was either in Canada, Italy, Germany,
Or Alaska.
fucking Singapore.
What is this, Captain Planet? What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, so there were no subtitles. So when we were talking throughout the movie, you know, whether about the movie or other shit, usually other shit, it was really hard to like keep track of what was going on because I fucking cranked the volume, but like the mixing in this movie is just all over the place. Like, you know, all the Foley is like fucking blasting our ears off, but the characters talk and it's like they're whispering. So we had a really hard time keeping track of that.
There's a particular scene early on where they're on a plane, and it was just, yeah, you could tell that, like, obviously the set's going to be completely silent, but they're going to, like, add the Foley in later. So they're talking, like, they're supposed to be raising their voices and talking really loud to, like, be over the plane engines, but they're still really quiet, and then you just hear, like, in the background.
Yeah.
Just, like, add it in there later.
Yeah.
Come on. What is mastering?
Yeah.
What is sound mixing?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
And like Wes was getting at, yeah, this movie has a lot of pacing issues because it's weird. Like out the gate, he's Captain America in the first like, I want to say like 10 minutes. He's like in uniform and he's going on his first mission. But then after that, it just drags ass, and it's just like there's like a hitchhiking montage, and he's just like hanging out with this girl, and it's
That's
just,
true.
It's fucking weird. Like for how quickly they blew their load getting him to the point where he is Captain America as we know him. He just spends most of the rest of the movie not being Captain America.
Yeah, because the first 10 minutes were like a little too fast.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden he's on a plane in his Captain America gear, and you're like, when did this happen?
It was so weird. Sorry, but we're gonna start the comparisons to the MCU movie, the first Avenger now, and it's crazy how much better it's done there because like you see the reason that he's given like the costume. It's like, oh, it was like a propaganda piece that just like took on a life of its own.
True.
And another thing that movie does way better is you see why Steve Rogers was, deserving to become Captain America.
Yeah, and why it just seemed like he kind of applied for it.
Yeah,
and they were like, yeah, sure, bring come on in.
Like he's not like a fucking twink like Steve Rogers is in First Avenger, right? But he fucking like he's just like, all right, I'm going off to be in the military now, and then he goes and they give him the serum, and then he's just Captain America. There's no like speech, with the fucking doctor about like like a good man and a good heart, and I don't like bullies and shit like that. There's none of that. He was given the serum because.
There's no significance to it at all.
Yeah,
they
it just happens.
They skipped the Steve Rogers being a pussy arc.
Yeah, which is very important to his character.
Like, as a decidedly not Marvel fan, like, I've definitely been beyond sick of these movies for, like, quite a long time now, but I really did like that first Captain America movie, especially when it came out. Like, not knowing jack shit about the character, not reading the comics, I don't like give a shit about any of that. I thought that was a really nice little self-contained movie, and I got a really good feel for the character. In this, absolutely nothing. I learned nothing. I felt nothing. There's no significance to him becoming Captain America. I don't even think they say his name, but it's just kind of like in passing. And yeah, I could barely follow this.
Yeah.
We had to keep pausing, and I was having Harlan like explain the plot to me, but I think about 2/3 of the way he started losing it too.
I think he was improvising. I don't know if any of that stuff actually happened.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone knows. I doubt if we pull up the wiki later, it'll say anything.
I'm sure there's like more dedicated podcasts than us that actually like paid attention to this shit. But
there's no fucking way.
Like there's just nothing about this that grabbed me. It was the most like frustrating kind of bad because. I mean, the things that I could point to that I actually hated about it, like the editing is incomprehensible. It's one of those where like they never have that many establishing shots, so I can't tell geographically where characters are, what's supposed to be happening in relation to something else. That's the worst kind of action scene. Like everybody talks shit about like the Bourne type of action scenes where it's like you've got all these micro cuts that are like a third of a second and everything is like flashing around and they're constantly just like cut. This was sort of that, but not really. It was more just that there was no continuity of what was going on at all. Things just kind of happened on screen. You don't know where anybody is in relation to each other, and it was just impossible to follow.
Yeah, like there's that one scene, there's a chase towards the end of the movie, and they're like, there are bad dudes, with motorcycles, and one of them has a car, and they're chasing them through like alleyways in Italy, I think. And there's this one part where the dude in the car, like there are kids just like rolling a ball back and forth in the street, and Captain America
they're watching a car come by.
Yeah, and Captain America like he's running from the car and he speeds up to like pick up the kids, and then it just cuts and you see the car hit a wall, but you just see like the nose of the car hit the wall, and then it just cuts to Captain America, and then it cuts back to the guy getting out of the car, and the car just seems to be there, and I'm like, what did he hit?
Why have a car crash in an action movie if you're not going to show it?
It was so weird.
That's such a cock tease for what an action movie should be.
It was totally incomprehensible.
That's just kind of the tone for the entire movie.
Yeah, that's a good summary for it. So yeah, he becomes Captain America, and his very first mission, he encounters the Red Skull, who looks like shit, by the way. He looks
like red velvet cake.
He's like a little
That's
little
an insult
Debbie
to red
cake.
velvet cake. I love red velvet cake.
I love red velvet cake too, but it looks like a bad one.
I just wanted to
Looks
dip
like
them
a
in
Walmart one.
I wanted to dip them in cream cheese.
My neighbors
They look
have
very leaky.
My neighbors have a mailbox that is red and white, and every time I pass it, I say to Anna, "That looks like a red velvet cake," and I want to eat that mailbox.
Eat that mailbox.
I will one day. I'll just take a bite out of it.
What do you think they would do? Realistically, if they saw you out there or like chewing on their mailbox, what would they realistically do?
It's true. You'll
Are
establish
you cool
dominance.
with them? Like, do you know them at this point? Have you talked to them?
Those ones, no. Waved at them. But
That'd be a good first interaction.
I really, that's kind of like a Fight Club-esque social experiment. Like, in Fight Club where they're just like squirting people with a garden hose as they walk by. You should just go and like chew on people's mailboxes, but it's people that you like kind of know.
True. That could be a good dynamic for him too. Like establish dominance over the neighborhood and the HOA. He could get away with anything. He could not mow his
It's
lawn.
like, don't even like acknowledge it again. The next time you talk to them, like make no mention of it. Feign ignorance. Be like, what are you talking about? Gaslight them.
Yeah.
Or it's a good icebreaker.
While you're still chewing the mailbox.
They'd be like, oh, I too have always wanted to bite my mailbox, but I was afraid of what other people would think.
No, like you got to do the opposite. You got to like gaslight them, and like while you're chewing on the mailbox, they're like, why are you doing that? And you're like, doing what? I'm just taking a walk.
Am I gonna edit this out?
Please don't. This is more interesting than the movie.
Okay,
or
so
anything
the movie.
I have to say about
so,
it.
So the movie.
Wait, what did we watch?
Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Rambo 3.
Oh gosh. I don't know.
So
what would I go with?
his first mission, he encounters the Red Skull, who looks like shit. Like he's just like wrinkled and he's moist for some reason. I don't know why he's moist, but he has like
Very
these
moist.
He's like oozy.
he has like these wrinkles and they're just wet for some reason. It's really gross.
It looks like tofu, like when you bring it out of the packaging and it's all drippy and
Honestly,
soaked.
he kind of looks like a turd.
Imagine being his dry cleaner.
I like that we have this many adjectives and comparisons about like a dude's fake skin.
Yeah, it looks really
That's
bad.
how bad it looks.
But so he pretty firmly kicks Captain America's ass, and then it fades to black, and then he is in a fashion that I really appreciate. Very very cartoonishly villainous. He has strapped Captain America to a rocket, and they're gonna shoot this rocket at the White House. And there's this kid who's just out dicking around on the lawn of the White House, and he's not like the president's son or anything. He's just some kid. This is a very pre 9/11 world.
Yeah, that kid would be in 36 pieces on the lawn.
Yeah,
if it was
like
today.
1940. I guess you could just hang out on the lawn of the White House and just fucking dick around. But yeah,
He'd
so
have a tank round in his face.
So this kid is just hanging out, and he sees Captain America coming in on his rocket, and Captain America starts kicking the fin of the rocket, and he finally puts a big enough like dent in it that it the rocket just like completely 180s and fucks off to the apparently completely opposite side of the country. It lands somewhere in Alaska.
And he waited till he got like within 50 feet of the White House to do that. Didn't the missile come from Germany?
It came from Italy.
Italy, even further.
Yeah, and he waited like how long do you think that flight took? And he was just like twiddling his thumb strapped to the rocket.
Like 22 hours.
It's ridiculous.
So the kid somehow is able to get like a handheld picture of this Captain America's stupid face.
It's like a Loch Ness Monster kind of picture, but like all things considered, like how fast he was moving, it was a pretty good picture.
And also, when that kid grows up to be president, he's still got that picture in his wallet like 60 years later, which is pretty goofy.
Yeah.
For like a 1940 whatever picture. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good detail.
That's one of the better parts about the movie is that Cohagen from Total Recall is the president. That's pretty dope.
Wow, you had that.
I didn't even pick up on that.
And Dick Jones from RoboCop.
The only person I recognized in this was Ned Beatty.
He was just he's a based gentleman, so I had to.
I also love
shout out
that when the rocket is about to take off, backtracking here a little bit, the rocket is about to take off, and the Red Skull's like up in Steve's face, taunting him, and so he grabs the Red Skull's hand, and he's like, "Tell him to stop the rocket, or you're coming with me." And Red Skull pulls out a knife, and Steve is strapped to this rocket. Instead of cutting off Steve's hand, he cuts off his own hand.
What do you do? You know,
he's got that iron jerk off grip.
Like, what the fuck? What? You could cut off Steve's hand. He's not going anywhere.
Maybe he's afraid of his strength. Maybe he couldn't cut his hand off.
Whoa.
But
they both have the super soldier serum, so.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I don't fucking know.
I like the extreme glow down that Red Skull gets later, though. Like, he doesn't even look remotely like the actual villain. He looks like he just looks like a burn victim or something.
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
He's got like Reservoir Dogs hair.
I kept expecting a moment like in the first Avenger where he takes off his like normal face mask and is revealed to be the Red Skull again.
Yeah.
And like obviously he is like, and it's not in the movie, doesn't treat it like a secret. But yeah, it's just weird that he just never has the Red Skull again for the rest of the movie.
You think there's going to be a reveal and
he just has it for one scene. Like I kept expecting
he just
him
has
to
like a
pull
fucked
off
up
the mask.
face later.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's very puffy. He looks like an alcoholic burn victim.
It's our little puff pastry.
Yep.
My little toasty strudel.
So yeah, he lands in Alaska, and they find him in roughly, I guess, it probably takes place in 1992 when the movie was released.
Yeah.
And then he just starts hitchhiking.
Nevermind shirts.
And like he meets the president, the kid who grew up to be the president. We see that he had like a nerdy little friend growing up, and that friend works for, I guess, Geek Squad or something. And he just happens to fucking track down Captain America, who's like hitchhiking down Highway 92 or something. And he's like, hey, get in. Because there are these Nazi girls that are chasing him. And I don't know why he thinks they're Nazis, but I mean, I don't know. I guess they are shooting at him. And they're chasing him on motorcycles. And
They've got like motocross outfits.
yeah. And it's, I don't know, it just stood out to me how crazily ineffective this Captain America is compared to the one we know today in the movies. Like, he gets bested by a single woman with a pistol. Like, and he has to run away and like get a lift from some dude in a truck. Just a single woman with a gun. And he's got a shield and everything, but he's just like, nah, I gotta leave. I don't know.
Yeah, Super Serum kind of sucked. Huh?
It does, yeah.
They didn't even level grind him before giving him that transmog. That's pretty ineffective.
Yeah, true.
Well, I hate to talk power levels, but
He pushed his glasses up for all of our audio listeners.
yeah, there was a glare on them in case you couldn't see. Yeah, I mean, I guess MCU Captain America's buffed. This one is pretty in line with the comics, just peak human.
Yeah, just
Super strength,
just a
but
dude.
I don't know. Still, it just stuck out to me how wildly ineffective it was. It was like, really, like, because he's taking down entire like fucking goon squads later. How did this one woman with a gun fucking make him run away? But anyway,
he also survived like however many years trapped in ice.
Yeah,
Just fine.
yeah. I don't know. It seemed
Can't
inconsistent.
really take a punch that well though.
And yeah, this is leads us to one of the first of I think 3 carjackings by Captain America. It's ridiculous
Where
how
he
like,
keeps pretending to be like car sick. He's like, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna throw up, and then they pull over and he's like a triangle and he leaves. So he leaves Ned Beatty in the middle of like rural Alaska.
yeah, they're just like in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, pull over, I'm gonna be sick. And yeah, he walks back away from the car like 50 feet. The guy comes up to him and he's like, hey, are you okay? And then he just runs to the car and gets in and drives away.
There's like 4 carjackings in this movie.
It's
Where
hilarious.
they trick someone to getting out of the car and then they just steal the car.
Yeah.
Why does that keep happening?
It's almost like a running joke, but I don't think the movie's in on it.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
This doesn't seem. It doesn't have the tone to be like self-aware like that. I don't
Definitely
think.
not. No, yeah.
Like this doesn't have the kind of like tongue-in-cheek ishness like your.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like it's not trying to be like Dark Knight or anything, but it's just the precise flavor of shitty where I don't care about it in any way.
Yeah.
We need another Yor.
Are we gonna be the ones to make like a 2023 Yor?
Crowdfund us. We'll make Yor too.
Which one of us is going to play your?
Reb Brown. I know he's like 90, but
That makes it better.
we'll get him.
We're gonna get The Rock.
We'll grease him up and he'll be fine.
As long as I get to play Pag, I'm good.
Yeah, you could be Peg.
So yeah, then
Justin's Kala.
he steals the truck. Yo. He steals the truck.
I got
And
the
then-
birth and hips.
And then we just get like a probably like 5-minute montage of him just hitchhiking across the country. Like he steals the car, drives it until it runs out of gas, and then he just hops in a fucking like 18-wheeler and just hangs out in the back. Goes cross country.
Why'd you jack the car then?
So when Ned Beatty finds his car, he's going to be so excited that it's just going to be out of gas. In the middle of Alaska. By Between the Buried and Me.
Nice.
Hey, that's an album.
Yeah, and this is probably a good
saying.
time to talk about the music. The music is really bad in this movie. It's like cheesy ballads the whole time that have a bit of country twang to them in some parts, like especially the credits. It doesn't fit at all.
It's really anachronistic in a weird way, because it's like, I would have thought that this was too corny for a movie 10 years prior.
Yeah.
It's weird though.
Fucking Rocky doesn't have like music choices this cheesy. Even like the later Rockies.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me how long it took for anyone to know what the fuck to do with a comic book movie. Because it was basically just this tone since the 40s.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in 2008, they're like, you know what? We get it now.
They finally fucking had that shit
I'd
down.
say it's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was like the first one that really took off in a critical way, I think, right?
Yeah, I'd say
What about
so.
X-Men 1?
That or X-Men 1, yeah.
Well, those are both kind of like around the same point-ish, right?
Yeah, like that was it. Like some
then,
people
like,
would say
that-
Blade, but I don't think Blade was as popular, you know?
I fucking love Blade.
As far as like the
never seen Blade.
mainstream comic book characters that people had already known.
Yeah.
And then like Batman Begins came out later, but that was a little bit of a different tone. And yeah, then that bled into like the whole MCU and everything. But yeah, like I'm kind of shocked at how horrible this is. I didn't expect this to be good. I kind of figured it was going to be hokey, but this is like next level.
Right? And there was a ruse, because I thought on next time on B-Roll Boiz Captain America, I thought we were going to watch the Reb Brown one.
I know, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Wow. And see, well, I thought, and I think I mentioned this last episode, I thought we were going to watch Yor as Captain America, but that was not the case.
If you'd like, we can go watch the 1979 Captain America right now.
I'm okay. I'm all
This is
right.
going to sound like abnormally mean to the actor, but like his face just looks really dopey.
He does look really stupid in the costume. We haven't talked about that yet.
He was in Revenge of the Nerds.
I think it's like I'm sure some people would say like no it's just the costume looks bad, but I think it's like his face too just looks really dopey. But yes, the costume is really bad too.
Yeah, him himself looks bad, and he should feel bad.
Yeah,
Just, like whatever talent he has is just not showcased in this at all because he's given
very one
nothing
note.
to do.
yeah.
He
Very
just kind
one
of has like a one face. He barely speaks.
Yeah.
There's no like emotional weight to anything that he's doing. And okay, you could say that that's not the point of this, but it's like if the point of it's to be an action movie, then make the action better because this is some like Letterkenny ass fight choreography here.
Well, not just that. I mean, the movie spends a lot of time focusing on his adjusting to waking up in the 90s and like going to see his girlfriend that he left behind, who has moved on and had a kid and married another man, and he's just kind of not really reacting to it. He's just there with a look on his face,
Yeah.
Sure, like he wasn't just astonished that she lived in the same house for 70 years.
She does say like, oh, I stayed in this house so that you'd know where to find me.
Yeah,
she was
I know.
like, I always knew you were alive.
But did she say that to her like present husband, who they have a adult child with?
I don't know.
It's
No,
kind of
yeah.
weird. She just kind of tossed him off to the side when Steve came back.
Yeah, that guy got cucked hard.
Like, all right, get in the closet.
Well, he got cucked and then killed. That's a rough time.
Yeah,
True.
it's a way to go. I mean, yeah. Would you say that the worst thing about the movie is just because I mean the action scenes are bad, but if there was more of them, I think the movie would be a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
But the movie's just so boring in between all that,
This is a fucking slog. Like, it felt like we were watching a season of a TV show instead
did.
of a movie.
And this movie's an hour and 37 minutes with
yeah,
the
it's
credits.
not even that long.
It's not. And
it's
oh my god, it
fucking-
dragged so much ass, man.
It's the longest average length movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is like the average Pixar film, and we were just like, oh my god, this feels like fucking There Will Be Blood or something.
I swear to God, we looked at the time. I thought like it was almost over, and then we looked at the time again, and only 10 minutes went by.
Oh, and circling back to his costume a little bit, I know we already shit on that a little bit.
It looks like balloon material.
It's a very literal adaptation of how he looks in the comics, like
They could have had better material, though.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It looked
Very
like his
Party
full suit was like
City-esque.
kitchen glove material.
Yeah, yes, to both of those things. But also, I didn't notice it until like toward almost the very end of the movie. So I think it'd be hard to miss. So I think they just tacked this on right at the end. But Captain America's ears stick out of the mask, and he just had like plastic ears on. Like it's clear that they just like they didn't put holes in the mask, they just put plastic ears on it, and they look so shit because they don't match his skin tone at all. Like they're noticeably way paler than he is, and it looks so bad. It's hilarious.
Well, and Anna pointed out later that like that he's just got like big ass ears anyway, so it made me wonder like, could that just be like his actual ear? But yeah, it looks really fake.
No, it's absolutely a fake ear. It absolutely is.
I
You
wonder
can
if
tell
it was
it's plastic.
maybe like too uncomfortable for the actor to like have to squeeze his ears like through these rubber holes, so they just made like a prosthetic one to smash over. Although then you're flattening your ears down. I can't imagine that'd be better, but I don't know. I wasn't there.
Maybe it was just like really leaky that day. Had a bunch of wax buildup.
Oh, true.
Gross.
Leaky
I don't
like the
know.
Red Skull's nasty ass skin.
I can't imagine it would be that hard to squeeze your ears through a little hole. Like maybe it was chafing, but just like make the ear holes bigger, and it's not gonna like dig into your ear crevice so much.
Yeah,
make a better mask. I don't know.
Yeah, come on,
like fucking anything.
Suck it up, guy. The dude that played Tin Man in original Wizard of Oz, that dude had lead paint on him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention he like doesn't even wear the mask for that much of the movie. Like he's not in costume for very much screen time at all. Like
That's true. Like most of
He's
the
got like
third
Buddy
act.
Holly gear for a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'd forget you're even watching a Captain America movie at the end of it.
And then he what the fuck happens next? He just kind of bumps around from place to place. Red Skull has his goons kidnap the president, who's the kid from earlier that saw him deflect the rocket.
Dick Jones.
Yes. President Kimball, if you will.
Who looks a little bit like John Elway, I think.
I actually can't remember the actor's actual name.
Wow.
I just know that he's in RoboCop and Total Recall, and that's all I need.
Also, our Captain America here looks a little bit like a discount Mel Gibson in parts.
It does. It's hard to unsee that. They go from place to place, and there's just a few like really shitty action beats here and there. I guess there's not too much to say about him, but a standout moment to me is he's like fighting these dudes in like a speakeasy, you know, and it's like under a diner or something that had like a secret door to get down there, and I don't know. He just has this moment where he's fighting a dude. And there's like the lighting is shit. You can't see anything that's going on in this fight. But there is a moment where he gets on the ceiling somehow, and he like kicks off the ceiling, and he has like a Goku punching through King Piccolo's chest moment. It's great. I really enjoyed that. But it's also frustrating because just the whole rest of the fight, you can't see anything. It's so dark.
Yeah, I wondered if they were trying to make it dark like film noir, but it's like, okay, film noir wasn't that dark. You could usually see what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, that the tone set by the music just didn't match that at all. You know, they have like a poppy kind of.
This was the worst soundtrack fucking ever. Whenever a song came on, it didn't match what was going on. Like,
Well,
at
just
all.
like the
Easy
car chase.
listening like ballads the whole time.
The car chase had like a really like poppy like it had like some synthesizers and shit going, and it just like it was kind of a fun song, and I was like, okay, so this fun song makes me feel like I shouldn't feel any tension in this car chase at all. Like,
Yeah, Nazis are fun. So we should have fun songs.
yeah. Just a total clash right there. Yeah, and then he I don't know, eventually gets to their Nazi base in Italy. I don't know why the change that Red Skull is Italian. I don't know why. I guess it's not a huge deal, but just like he's a Nazi. Just have him be German.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, he
change
gets there, and then we have
locales
a throwdown where the president is like up top, on top of their castle or whatever, and he's like, "You need me for your plans." I didn't catch what their plans were. I don't know what their goals were with the president. But he's like, "You need me," and then he yeets himself off the building, and Captain America catches him. And then they fight through the shit together.
That was cool. I didn't expect that, actually.
You thought that was cool?
The president to like be punching dudes out with him?
Do you guys think Joe Biden could do that?
I would hope so.
No, I think he'd break his wrist the first punch he did.
If he made weed legal and starts socking dudes, he's got my vote every time.
He's like,
Every time.
he's like, I've got a re-election coming up. I need to punch somebody.
My fellow Americans, and he punches Trump in the face.
Oh man.
I Dukins him.
Yeah, I guess there's not
Would
too
you
much
buy
to say.
a Smash DLC character of Joe Biden?
Joe Biden is in my Smash because I downloaded the fighter hybrid. that was like day one DLC for me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot to mention. I know that we're backtracking a little bit here, but who cares? Like, when they're trying to bring Captain America up to speed on the fact that he's been asleep for like 60 years or whatever, they're telling him like, oh yeah, Red Skull was like behind the JFK assassination and like the Martin Luther King assassination, but I mean, maybe they do this off camera, but they don't explain to him who these people are and what significance they have. Later they have him like watch the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech.
The guy that's telling him that does acknowledge, like, you don't know who I'm talking about, do you? But yeah,
it just
be
feels
dumb
like they
to bring it
zoom-
up in the first place.
They just like zoom through it the whole time, and I'm like, oh, we're really like, oh yeah, we.
Also, what motivation does Red Skull have to kill those people? It's not like he was a CIA agent. He wasn't an assassin.
yeah.
He was just killing these important figures because people know who they are. Or
Just because it's just a way to
kill
tie
this
it in.
one president and no one else.
Yeah. I don't know. So I got the sense that it bothered you. Like, you thought it was kind of stupid that they were explaining that, like, the Red Skull is behind all these murders. Did that bother you? Did you think that was stupid?
I thought that was extremely stupid.
See, I didn't think that was stupid. I guess just because I'm used to it. Because in the Winter Soldier, they're like, oh yeah, they don't directly say that the Winter Soldier killed JFK or anything, but they say that he has like influenced.
it makes
world
it more.
history.
It makes more sense there because he's like a deep sleeper agent. That's his whole goal is to change the
Like, his very existence is like a conspiracy theory, you know?
yeah, and it's like to change how the world is run or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
this time it just seems like Red Skull is just killing them because.
I mean, how far are we going to take this? Or when the next 70 Spider-Man like reboots in 2045 or something, are we going to have like a Green Goblin does 9/11 subplot?
I hope so. I'd watch it.
Hey man, I will be very conflicted if I get to see Doctor Doom crying at 9/11 in live action. That actually happened? That's canon.
Does Green Goblin's Goblin Glider melt steel beams?
Man, 9/11. Doctor Doom does like 3 9/11s a week.
True.
You wouldn't cry at that shit. But anyway,
There was never going to be any artist alive in any medium that would have been like, oh yeah, this character's like haha 9/11 in 2001. Absolutely fucking not.
no, yeah, people shit on that comic a lot, but it was very much a product of the.
In that time, you
emotion
would
at
have
the
been
time.
burned at the fucking stake if you had any other like
yeah.
viewpoint. I mean, honestly, rightfully so, I guess. But like, yeah, there was no one that was going to be like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, or like making light of it at that time.
So, I'm getting sidetracked quite a bit here, but in the same comic, like, you see like lots of Marvel characters react to 9/11, and among them, like, you see like the Kingpin, Doctor Doom, and even fucking Magneto is crying at 9/11, and he's like there to help out. I'm like, Magneto wouldn't give a shit about 9/11. He has murdered so
Like
many.
jerking off.
Couldn't
He
he
just
just
murdered so many Homo sapiens. Like,
couldn't he just put the buildings back together?
he's like,
Why
done.
didn't Magneto stop 9/11?
He could stop planes.
And he's just like,
Bro.
anywho,
I know that fucked up some of the marketing of the original Spider-Man.
yeah,
Because there was like
poster.
wasn't there a trailer or something where he was like sitting in between the Twin Towers, and then like
There's
right
a
before
trailer-
it came out that happened, they were like, oh fuck.
There's a trailer where a helicopter's gonna crash, and he like catches it in a web between the Twin Towers.
Oh yeah.
And there's a poster for the movie where in the reflection of his lens you see the World Trade Center. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a hot commodity on eBay, I guess, nowadays.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, Captain America. Yeah, they have their showdown with Red Skull, and I don't know. I mean, his shield physics are fun because in this one, you know, like the fun thing about current Captain America in live action is that like there's like they apply some like geometry to how he like maneuvers his shield, but in this it's just a boomerang for no reason. Like it just like will just turn around in midair and come back. It's really weird. But yeah, Red Skull's got like a grand piano on a cliff for some reason. It's really weird. Like
On top of like a
it's hard to
top of
explain.
this like Adobe house on a cliff,
There's just a grand piano for
cliffside.
some reason.
and
What
there's
happens
like a
when it
nuke
rains?
detonator in it or something.
What'd you say, Wes?
What happens when it rains?
I don't know, because grand pianos are fucking expensive.
Are
and
they
they're hard
putting
to
like a
move.
tarp on it like a car?
I don't know. Well, either way, like you'd have like grand pianos are made out of wood. You'd have to worry about like humidity affecting the fucking construction.
Yeah, like coming off the ocean right there.
It's just a terrible fucking idea to keep a grand piano there.
Well, I don't think he's like playing it. I think it's a front, but you could have any front.
It's a
could-
front,
you
it's a
could have,
front for
like,
the fucking bomb and inside it.
It's a
Yeah, but
flex
it's like,
for
why
his
don't you just have
neighbors.
like a beater car up there or something?
I don't know. Yeah, so you've got your shonen, and this is
Just have like a station wagon with a fucking detonator in
Yeah,
it.
instead of a grand piano, it's just scattered car parts on his villa.
If it was like a redneck front lawn, it'd be like inside a dryer that's like overgrown.
He would just have a couch out there.
fucking yeah. So he Captain America's like down, you know, a ways away, and he's like, I've got a bomb in this piano, I guess, and he like sets a timer, and Captain America's just kind of like, oh no, what do I do? And he just like stands there for like 5 minutes, and it's like fucking
With his fake ear.
go get him. Like I don't know. He's just kind of like, what do I do? And there's another bitch there who's got her gun, and female lead is distracting her. And this is where I was also really confused, because there's like a tape recording, and they play it, and we didn't talk about this at all. But there's this kid at the very beginning of the movie who like Nazis burst into his home and just like make him watch while they gun down his family. And I guess that was Red Skull as a child. Sure. I'm not clear on who the dudes were. Like, if they were actually Nazis. If they were Nazis, why'd he become I don't know. I guess he got brainwashed. I don't know. And so my other point of confusion is, why was that recorded? Like, they have like an audio recording of the night that his family was murdered.
Why did Nazis come in and kill his family if he was Italian?
I don't know. I don't know.
A lot of plot holes in this movie.
I don't know. And so he plays the tape. I don't know if he knew about it, or if, like, did Captain America know what it was when he pressed the button? But he plays the tape, and Captain and Red Skull is just like completely caught off guard by it, and it makes him like lose his focus. And so Steve fucking, you know, belly bumps him off the cliff, and you get to see him fall all the way down and like hit the ground like 4 fucking times. It's pretty great. And then the other bitch, the woman that had the gun next to him, he throws his
You mean
shield.
Red Skull's daughter?
Is that what she was?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you knew something about this movie I didn't.
Yeah, Red Skull procreated somehow with his like monster mash face.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He, in fact, got to do the monster mash.
He did the monster smash.
The red mashed potato.
So graveyard smash.
So he throws his shield at her, and he misses, and then it boomerangs, comes back, and he's like, heads up, and then you don't see what happens, and he catches the shield, and then the bitch is just like, you don't see what happened to her, and I'm like, did he just fucking like slice her head off?
She got Django
with the
fetid.
fucking shield? Like, what happened? Just another example of like there being absolutely no fucking comprehension available to us as far as the action beats. And then he turns, and I swear to God, he looks right at the camera. He looked right at me. He looked at my soul.
And we freeze frame.
Did you guys catch that? He looked right at the fucking camera.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, that was like an intentional thing.
He's like, I'm
It was
Captain America,
intentional,
and I'm
but it was so
badass.
subtle, you know?
I didn't think it was subtle at all. I thought that was the point of the shot.
Are we talking about different shots? Because there's a different one where he looks right at the camera.
The one where he's like kind of looking past and then he stops on the camera for a second and then keeps going.
Yeah,
I
okay,
thought that was the
yeah.
point of the shot.
I don't know. It happened like it was so brief. I don't know. It felt like he accidentally looked at the camera to me. But I don't know.
probably
He is kind of smirking. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe it was intentional.
Nothing personal, kid.
But yeah, it's weird how just the movie just ends after that. Like, you know, he hugs the female lead, and then there's just a shot of Captain America with his back turned to the camera, and then it just like zooms in as he turns around and just stares into the camera. And then fade to a drawing of Captain America,
and another
then,
like power ballad.
and credits.
It's not
And
even a
that's
power
just
ballad. It's just a ballad. There's no power about it.
Yeah, and then movie's just over. That's it.
Yep. As soon as it came, it went.
Not soon
It
enough.
just petered out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It was
What
garbage.
would you give it out of 10? I gave it a 2.
Damn.
That would be my max. Like, this was just so boring and just
I fucking
bad.
hated it.
It's like,
Damn, really?
goddamn, yeah,
I
too.
didn't, damn. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'd say a 2 as well.
I
like 2 feels a little harsh, but it was really boring. Like I'm 2 or a 3. I guess I'll say 2.
I mean, I would say 2, especially because like I don't know if another movie just threw us out of it so hard like this one did. Like we were checked out real quick.
No, yeah,
Within like 5 or so minutes.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would give it. I mean, I actively hated it, but it wasn't like Pixels level where I was like angry at it.
Yeah.
This was just like I'm checked
not a
out
lot
and
to be
bored, and
offended about.
it's just so unremarkable in every way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just really poorly done, and
It's not the right amount, not the right level of cheese
I
for me
think,
to kind of think it's charming. It's
nothing
not.
redeemable about
I
it.
think it would have really helped if we had subtitles. Because, again, like, for a lot of the movie, we just couldn't hear what they were saying, even when we were, like, trying to fucking pay attention. It was, like, there was a lot of times where we were quiet, and I was listening, but I just didn't catch what the character said, either because they mumbled, or it was just too quiet.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, it just made it hard to follow and stick with for most of it.
Yeah.
Another thing to add to the shitty production. Horrible sound.
Yeah. Good thing?
Before the Red Skull reveal, they had like the stop motion Red Skull rat. I actually thought that looked pretty good.
Fuck.
Stolen.
No, I have to think I actually completely forgot about that, but yeah, that would
me
have been
too.
my good thing because I really don't have much. There's nothing. It's just so little of this like stuck with me in any real way. Like I can't even get worked up over it. I'm just like I sleep.
I also thought the cliff fall scene was good because usually you don't see the dummy they throw off like hit the fucking rock wall like 4 times on its way down.
No, yeah, they committed
It
to
was
that.
just like kept pelting the rocks, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's pretty great.
Yeah. Surprisingly violent, you know? There's no blood or anything, but still.
Yeah, in the credits, there was like a firing squad that just like murked this kid's family.
Okay, I'll say I felt like the Red Skull's normal face looked okay.
Really? I thought it looked fucking terrible.
Compared to the actual Red Skull face.
Yeah, I thought it looked fine.
Like at least the actual Red Skull. I mean, the actual Red Skull face looked terrible, but like at least you knew what it was trying to be. But if I wasn't watching a Captain America movie, I never would have get. For one thing, he's got hair. That's weird. It looks weird that he's got hair.
Well, I mean, like, but he's trying to. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird that he creates a disguise for himself that gives him like a normal skin, but he still has the scars. It's like what?
Yeah.
like I say, he just looks puffy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess now that you say it, I'm kind of like, yeah.
Like
it
I
is
thought
shitty
that
about it.
looked really shitty. At least if they
no.
stuck with like the normal shitty makeup, it would have been like not fine, but at least I would have understood what the point of it was.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, this is just what the character looks like. But it's like we've got this weird hybrid of like he's still gonna be grotesque enough to where we know what he's supposed to be, but then he's like kind of halfway a normal person. It's this
Yeah.
uncanny valley thing where I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
looks bad.
Damn, I guess.
I'm really struggling to think of a good thing because I can't think of shit.
I can actually hear the crickets outside.
I think for the time, some of the wire work for the shield throwing looked okay.
Yeah,
Not counting the parts where it just boomerangs and just completely does a 180.
I agree because when he like
He like
knocked
takes down
that
like a watchtower,
yeah,
and it like swoops around. I thought that looked all right.
that one was pretty good. That was
beginning-
probably the best shield throw in the movie.
Well, the beginning starts with a massacre, and that was probably where my interest in the movie peaked. So I guess I'll say that.
Yeah, the first couple minutes you're thinking like, all right, maybe this will be at least entertaining, and then it got boring real fucking
Wes was
quick.
like, "There's a massacre in the first 5 minutes. This shit goes hard." And then we checked out. We were talking about other shit.
Then it didn't go hard.
Yeah.
It's
got
not quite
soft.
soft.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a lot of trivia for you.
I'd be stunned if this had any, to be real.
Just the one.
Captain America was a bad enough dude to save the president.
He's a bad man. In a deleted scene, Captain America visits Colonel Lewis at a home for retired veterans. The film's budget was so low, not only did they run out of film during shooting that scene, director Albert Pune had the camera operators turn off their camera out of film alarm and pretended to keep shooting. He believed if they stopped and shut down production, it would never start up again.
Holy shit. What was the budget?
I'm curious. Let's see. Please hold. Okay. Budget for this movie was apparently $3 million.
That ain't
Pretty
shit.
light.
Yeah. Weird. I feel like I guess we were a ways off from like the fucking stream of Batman movies, you know. Fucking.
This came out after Tim Burton's Batman.
Did it? Okay.
Because that was like 89.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 It's weird. But yeah. Guess that's all I got for Captain America, 1992.
I already forgot 100% of it.
Not surprised you had any trivia at all.
Yeah. So Wes.
Hey.
What are we watching next?
Well, next.
Whoa.
I believe it is October now, so I think it's time for a nice and spooky pick. I'm going to keep it campy and just stupid as fuck, and I'm going to pick Wes Craven's Shocker.
Shocker! Shocker! I'll chase you to the ends of the world, Shocker!
Not that shocker, but
Right.
it is a shocker.
Sure.
And it's really fucking stupid, so I hope we'll have a good time.
I don't know this one, so yeah, I'm excited.
I have no opinion, so.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have like a. I didn't think of a witty send off. Case no. That's court.
You
It's
could just
just
say
been revoked.
you could just say goodbye.
No. It's like a military saying. Like,
Bye.
Hoorah.
When I see an American flag, I don't feel a flippin' thing even if it's half-assed.
Hold on. You dig on multiverses?